Njoki, who is also the governor of the vote-rich county of Tharaka Nithi. And there's something that I've noted about the three, the Mutembei, Njoki, and the two speakers. They've talked very passionately about devolution. That is another freedom that we gained ourselves after we promulgated and started devolution. Engineer.
Well, I was speaking about the freedoms that we have gained as a country, and I was saying for 40 years we could not speak freely as a nation under the Moi and Kenyatta rule. But what have we done with the freedom we have enjoyed with Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta? We've definitely made some gains. We have a new government system where we have the county government and the national government. We have a more free press. We have a more engaged public that are able to participate in the governance of this country. But also we also have some challenges that this freedom has brought. We had the worst post-election violence in 2007 as a result of these freedoms not being used or exercised responsibly. We have the Shakahola massacre, which is as a result of this freedom to exercise our religion freely. So, and also we have the war on corruption, which have sometimes been lost because of misrepresented facts on the ground. So I think we have both the pros and cons to these freedoms. We just need to take stock of what have we done with the 20 years of freedom and make the next 10, 20 years of this country much better by exercising this freedom more responsibly, by making sure this freedom is able to bring as much economic, political and social impact positively to the people of Kenya, and less in terms of how we look at ourselves as tribes, we look at ourselves as country that is divided. We want to secede. You know, we are talking about every time we have an election, people want to secede. All this because of the freedom we have that we are misusing as a country. So therefore we need to be very cautious in terms of how our media carries stories, how we engage in the public, leaders and the common man, and also how religion is governed in this country, because we have seen, we used to look at religious extremism as just confined to Muslims, but Christianity, it seems to be worse, far more worse than Islam, because yes, we have the Mackenzies of this world who have called people to one isolated land, but we have so many pastors who masquerade to be prophets and deny people to go to seek health services and die in their homes and give that wealth to pastors. So this is something we need to discuss and be very, very careful about. And they are hiding under the clothes of political influence because they bring crowds to politicians. And this is an issue that we need to address as a country. The media need to be very courageous enough to speak about these issues. The Shakahola massacre, if you look at the media, the way they interrogate things, but nobody is able to have the courage to re-interrogate this. Where did this issue come about? This man started his church in 2003. For 20 years, nobody saw this. He didn't just kill people in the last 3 or 4 months. Probably this whole story started for many years. So we need to be able as a country to be able to interrogate this freedom that we have. Where have we failed as a country? And where have we gained? And how can we best move forward with the gains that we've made from this freedom? Yes.
And Nelson, looking at what our leaders there have talked about, they're talking so passionately about devolution, despite the few hitches here and there and the challenges that devolution has faced in the last almost 10 years now. I would like you to touch on that in matters devolution, how we've been able to carry ourselves. This is one form of freedom, if you ask me.
Yes. Before I comment on that, I want to commend my brother what he said. The freedoms we have misused or not rightfully used. You in the media. Now we are in the era of fake news. If you see a media house, there are so many other versions of the same media house. And for the ignorant Kenyan doesn't know the difference. You've seen people behaving as if they are not the real people. You've seen somebody pretending to be the president of Kenya in the last year or something. Somebody masqueraded as the president and was